Parshas Pinchas begins with the bracha that Pinchas is provided. At the end of last week's parsha, we read of a terrible moment in the history of the Jewish people. The women of Moab and Midian entice the Jewish people. They engage in immorality. They do so for the purpose of getting the Jews to worship the Avodah Zarah, the idol of Baal Pa'ar, and they have success. And the success perhaps culminates in the successful efforts of Kozbi Bas Tzur, a princess, in her efforts to seduce Zimri ben Salah, who's the leader, he's the Nasi Beis Av of Shimon. And they engage in public promiscuity. It's a terrible moment. People are crying. People recognize that something is wrong. And ultimately, Pinchas comes along and kills both of them. He kills Zimri ben Salah and Kozbi Bas Tzur. And what's the result? In this week's Parsha, Hashem tells Moshe, L'chein emar hineni nosin lo es brisi shalom. Therefore, I'm giving Pinchas the covenant of peace. And the question that comes to mind is obvious. What's the midah keneged midah? What's the measure for measure? Why is it appropriate for Pinchas to be rewarded to become a Kohen, the covenant of peace, because he killed Zimri ben Salah and Kozbi Bas Tzur? Perhaps, on the surface, one might say that there was a plague that had engulfed the Jewish people, and because Pinchas took such drastic action, so it brought peace to the situation. It caused the Magefa to come to an end. It caused the plague to stop. People said, hey, wait a second, what we're doing is wrong, and everything came to a standstill. And there was a reset, and there was peace. It's one way of looking at it. The Sfas Emes adds a dimension of understanding here. He says that a Kohen has a unique role. The Kohen's job is to represent the Jewish people. The Kohen serves in the Beis HaMikdash, does the avodah, the service, on behalf of the Jewish people. And what happened here was as follows: that the Jewish people, not only did they do things that were immoral and inappropriate, but as we read at the end of last week's Parsha, people were just standing around and crying. They knew that this was wrong. They knew that something should be done to stop it. But it was only Pinchas who was bold enough to actually do something, to actually bring the whole situation to an end, to a close. And that's why, says the Sfas Emes, Pinchas is rewarded with the kahuna, because the job of the Kohen is to actualize the thoughts, the beliefs, the prayers of the people. It's a beautiful idea, and I think that we are living, obviously, in such a strange time that we've given names to the period that we live in. More and more people talk about BC, before Corona. Now C is Corona. But a lot of us are thinking about, okay, AC, after Corona. And because we are spending so much more time at home, because we are spending so much more time in quarantine, as we should be, the health risks are still significant. And there's so much that we don't know about this disease. So as a result of which, we're all doing a lot of thinking. And I think so many people are thinking and talking about, okay, what are we going to do when this is all finished? What are we going to do when this is all done? And yes, there are things that people want to do just for their health and for their peace of mind. I get it. You want to go on vacation, you want to get away. I understand. But I think a lot of people have more bold aspirations. And here's the challenge that I put out to you at this time. As you think about what it is that you want to do AC after Corona, maybe it's clean out the attic, maybe it's plant a flower bed, maybe it's go on a diet, maybe it's write a book. Whatever it may be, don't just think about it. Learn from Pinchas and actually do it. I've mentioned him in the past, but I have a friend, Josh Fass, who 18 years ago lost a relative in a terrorist attack in Israel and understandably was very upset. And he had an idea and he acted on it. He said, the enemies of the Jewish people want there to be fewer people in the land of Israel. I'm going to work harder to make sure that it's easier for people to make Aliyah to get to Israel. P.S. 18 years later, more than 60,000 Jews have made Aliyah and have been helped by Nefesh B'Nefesh, organization that he co-founded. The greatness was not that he had the idea. The greatness was that he had the follow-through. We should learn from him. We should think about what we're going to do AC. And we should learn from Pinchas to follow through. And hopefully, just as Pinchas was, we too will be blessed with the covenant of peace.